Welcome to the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. This is the only professional wrestling podcast online. Well, you know, the ones that out of the ones that happen to be hosted by myself, Cameron Osborne, and my co-host, Mike the Shoot Shepherd.
We are rolling.
We're rolling. It was close, though. I wasn't recording because, Mike, I forgot to kind of delete previous storage on my recording device, so we have 2 hours and 9 minutes to wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
I mean, we could sit here
This
all
isn't
day.
an episode of Raw. We're going to be just fine.
This isn't Monday Night Raw, folks, but this is a huge episode of the show because, you know, not only Survivor Series is coming up and Full Gear is in the background in what was, God, just a bit. It's always a busy time around this American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. The year is coming to a close. The snow is falling down. The shooties are ramping up more.
Fast upon us. Every single week, the shooties get one step closer to being here. So, you know, gotta get a lot of candidates in. So let's get into the podcast. Let's kick off the show the way we always do, by crowning a brand new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. This week's Tweet of the Week champion goes out to first-time Tweet of the Week champion, just All Elite Wrestling, AEW.
Wow, the company?
A company. This has happened before. WWE has won it before. 2K Games have won it before also. So this isn't unheard of. Of course, last summer, so this is July 31st, 2020, they had done a standard post on their Twitter account, welcome to the team, hashtag Mad King, hashtag Eddie Kingston is All Elite. Right? They do this anytime they sign a new person, and that is when Jobber Nation TV responded by saying, waste of a signing unless it's to be a manager. AEW about to have the same talent issues as WWE. Too much talent, not enough time. Hangman needs to sign with NXT. So, of course, you know, I think All Elite Wrestling, if there's one professional wrestling organization who know how to handle the trolls, I gotta say it's AEW, because they recalled this tweet, they quoted it, kind of posted the entire interaction on their account again, and said, "This aged well."
Wow. Did they censor the guy's name, or did they show it?
No, it's Jobber Nation at Jobber Nation TV.
Oh, so it's like a channel, yeah.
Yeah, Jobber Nation TV, the reality check for the IWC, whatever that means, Internet Wrestling Community.
Yeah.
So take that, Jobber Nation, and congrats, All Elite Wrestling. And I mean, July 31st, 2020, Eddie Kingston signs with All Elite Wrestling, and November 13th, 2021, he's on pay-per-views with CM Punk. Is there not a larger? This is a Brock Lesnar style meteoric rise that Kingston's had. So Jobber Nation, go fuck yourself. Let's get into the rest of the show. Let's kick off with the big news, the big entertainment for the weekend, because we did have an AEW pay-per-view. So let's wind ourselves up. Does that work kinda?
Yeah, set your clocks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're about to fall. Well, we haven't quite fallen back yet. We're about to fall back. You're gonna get an extra hour.
I mean, we just did like a week ago.
Yeah. Well, but this was a Saturday night, I think.
Yeah, this was a Saturday. Anyways, this was Full Gear 2021. Review. An ultimate pay-per-view of the year, I guess. The final one. They only have 4, so.
Yeah, this is our last pay-per-view of the year for All Elite Wrestling. Big card. Let's get into it. Even a pre-show, which, god damn it, I checked it out.
Yeah, I mean, they always have at least one match nowadays, it seems, and you know, it was the only other women's match on the show, right? Mm-hmm. I believe, yeah. So you had Hikaru Shida, Thunder Rosa taking on Nyla Rose, Jamie Hayter, and yeah, just a fun match. Everyone's cheering for Shida, Rosa, fully behind them. Yeah, eventually Nyla picks up Shida, goes for the monster bomb, but Shida reverses it. Hurricane Rana into the turnbuckle, covers her on the rebound, and gets the 3 count. So, just a little victory for Sheeta.
Sheeta keeps getting the win. She gets cheers everywhere she goes. Coming out of COVID, she had that, God, however many hundreds of day reigns, and the fans were clearly behind her. I'm sure you caught Serena Deeb looking on
Yeah,
from
they
ringside
showed her a bunch
there.
of times. Just
Classic. I love that. I mean, she's there, baby. She is there. Yeah.
I mean, they've had a little feud, her and Sheeta, so I like that there's something going on between them. Doesn't have to involve the title. It's always nice to have women's feuds.
Where do either of them stand? Deeb is out of that TBS championship, I think.
And Sheeta, we'll get to that later on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Her TBS match comes up.
Yeah, she comes up a little bit later. But let's kick into the pay-per-view live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, home of the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves, one of the most northern parts of the United States, right? They're known for being cold in winter.
Is it? It does
Canada.
certainly sound like a place that would be dreary.
They love hocky. I know that much.
Well, I mean, if you love hockey, then it's got to get cold where you are. We're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Big first match kick off the night. We have Darby Allin taking on MJF. This is how you get a fucking show started.
Yeah, I mean, this you kick it off with a fucking 10 out of 10 full gear. I mean, that's full gear. They're not accelerating. They're fucking just bam, pedal to the metal. And that's what it was. Even the entrance, MJF, I loved his. He had a little Macho Man style, little purple draping thing on his jacket, looking wonderful. But then the wrestling, my God, just some damn good wrestling, Grapples, reversals, everyone. MJF, I think, at some point before, he promised he was going to win the match with a side headlock takedown. So we kept going for that. But yeah, Darby's just throwing his body around. He's goes for the coffin drop on the side of the apron. MJF moves out of the way, so he just hits his spine right on the edge there.
What's the over-under? How much longer do we have until he breaks one of those spine bones?
Yeah, I mean, in this case, he's so lightweight,
especially like right onto the apron. How many times has Darby Allin missed the coffin drop onto the apron?
More often than he hits it. That's for sure.
I wonder what do we think the over/under is on that?
But then they fight their way out to the apron, and then MJF hits a fucking leaping tombstone pile driver, just bouncing Darby off his head there. That was beautiful.
Right off. And MJF is always bigger than he's bigger than you think he is. I don't know.
Yeah. No, he's a pretty big dude. Mm-hmm. And then one awesome spot when they're both in the ring trying to pin each other, reversing back and forth, the one cradle to another, and then they end up just rolling around together in a giant ball.
Gets the big camera zoom out. Everyone's just cheering.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
standing ovation.
That whole bit they did right there pretty early on in the match, where it just kept being 2 counts back and forth. That whole thing, just MJF, the look on MJF's face of this, like, what's happening? Why is he? How is he kicking out so much? Damn,
was just fantastic. And then later on, Darby Allin goes for the coffin drop, so MJF slides out and lays on the floor. But Darby says that's no problem, so he just jumps off the top, hits the coffin drop right onto the floor. That's got to hurt him almost just as much.
Yeah, I think.
But either way, he hits it. They're both down, and that's when Wardlow and Shawn Spears come out. But Sting comes out as well with the bat, so he beats them up. And but then MJF grabs Darby's skateboard, brings it to the ring, but he hands it to Darby instead, dares him to take a swing with it. But Darby doesn't, so the ref grabs the board, and as he's removing it, MJF manages to slip on his Dynamite diamond ring, nails Darby in the face, and then takes him down with a side headlock, just as he promised, making the 3 count. Cheating his way to, but even with a cheat, it was a damn good match.
Oh, even I think this was pretty close to the exact same way his match with Jungle Boy ended, back at Double or Nothing last year, maybe 2020, maybe 2021. And yeah, like we've said before, these are the fucking pillars. This is a match. We're going to see this match how many more times between now and when... I mean, they're younger than us. We're going to die first.
Well, I don't know. I think the way Darby goes, there's a good chance.
Yeah, that might not last much longer. Yeah, they set the bar fucking high for the rest of the show. That's how you kick off pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean, that was nothing but amazing. But let's keep the momentum going. AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. Lucha Brothers taking on the AAA champions, FTR. But only for the AEW belts here. But, just some good tag wrestling. Of course, Rey Fenix is doing what he does best, just bouncing all over the place, just literally running on top of the ropes.
That's all he does. Nothing. He just runs on the ropes, bounces on them, flips around.
Yeah. So lots of big double team moves. FTR hit the double spike pile driver, big 2 count. But then Penta hits the package pile driver, near fall there. And then the finish got a little weird for me, where, FTR, they roll under the ring, and then they put on their green masks that they have, and Cash gets in the ring, but then the commentary are like, he's not the legal man. He's not the legal man. But Penta hits him, they hit him with the fear factor, and they pin him anyways. So it didn't really matter.
Yeah, and then they take the mask off, and the ref, it doesn't... The ref...
They didn't change anything. Yeah, I thought they would be like, wait a minute, restart the match.
That's what I would have thought, right? Like, that's the swerve. Yeah, and it's weird because there was a big spot right before that they didn't end on.
Taken out.
And then, Excalibur's yelling at us. It was a weird finish, but...
Good match, just, a little weird at the ending, but I expected Lucha Bros to win, and they did.
Yeah, they did, and the difference of the two styles, it's pretty cool, and classic AEW tag rules. So
JR is always like, "What the hell's going on?"
Do you think we'll ever see an AEW like someone's gimmick or like the gimmick match that they want is like a real tag match, like that's what it's called? Where
strict rules,
like a strict rules tag match, and like the Bucks can't do it. Like they keep losing, or fucking Lucha Bros keep losing. I feel like FTR is the team. I feel like FTR would be the team to kind of put
if it's like one of those stips where you get to pick the stip. That's what the team that faces the Bucks pick. I'm like, you're
a classic. You can't use the Judas effect. You can't use the paradigm shift. You can't do crazy tag shit.
Yeah. But let's keep this train rolling, because we got the final match of the World Title Eliminator Tournament. Bryan Danielson taking on Miro. Jim Ross called him Daniel Bryan about 100 times in this match.
Oh, I think you're undercutting. 200 maybe?
Yeah. I honestly, I swear, at one point I heard the crowd do a Daniel Bryan chant, so even they forgot. They chanted.
Yeah,
Daniel
I mean,
Bryan.
Honestly, I guess it could get confusing. Because Bryan,
Tony did it. Everyone was doing it. Everyone was.
Bryan Danielson is more syllables.
Yeah, it seems more made up than Daniel Bryan.
Honestly, yeah.
But it doesn't.
I guess it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the quality of the match, because this was just. I mean, we know what we were going to get: hard hitting, physical action, lots of submission work, just wearing each other out. Kicking each other. At one point, Miro was just letting them kick. They're just letting each other kick each other to, see who's stronger. I think Miro gets the better of that one. But then they fight their way up to the top rope. Bryan hits a huge DDT that just sends Miro loopy. He's out of it. Bryan quickly grabs onto him with a guillotine, and Miro's out. Bryan wins by yet another new submission.
Yet another fun
number one contender.
And this was. This was close. This was as close as we got so far to the yes chant. I don't know if you noticed at one point, Miro started to it was more of like a flick of the wrist up, in like a taunting gesture. But then at one point, when Bryan Danielson was gearing up for that running knee, picture this. Okay, so extend your arms all the way out to your sides, and then turn your wrists so your fingers are pointing up. Now kind of make little finger guns, and then just kind of very small gestures, kind of point your finger guns in the air. He did it a bit. 10 seconds. I caught it.
Do you think it was on purpose?
I think it was on purpose. He was doing it with the crowd. I was like, Brian, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, the crowd was doing it.
You son of a bitch.
Mean, yeah.
We want to do it.
I mean, you can't own the word yes.
You can't own the word yes. Did I see one time Gene Simmons tried to trademark like OJ for orange juice or something?
Yeah, that's stupid.
And I bet OJ tried to.
Probably. He's done a lot worse. But let's go on because we've got the Super Click taking on Christian and Jurassic Express. 6-man tag, false count anywhere match. You had the Click. They all had matching pink gear. Even the beards were pink. Everything.
Was that was that a reference to something? I didn't get it.
I didn't get it this week. But okay. The baby faces kept it simple. They all came out in jeans, ready for a brawl.
Classic. And I think JR certainly commented on you're wearing your Levi's.
Yeah, you're coming here with fight. That's what we got. Lots of weapons, chair shots, garbage can. This garbage can got completely crumpled up.
Yeah, it's like as if they only had one.
Yeah. Lots of unprotected headshots with that thing, but it looks like it takes it.
Yeah, it looks
pretty soft blow.
That's okay.
Yeah. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, they slam Adam Cole headfirst into the seat of a steel chair. This gives him a minute to roll under the ring, do the old little blade, and he came up.
It was a big one.
It was a big one, but it was weird. So it was tons of blood smeared over his forehead, but then it didn't drip. It was like one consistent little.
Yeah, it didn't go any further.
That's good,
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. I guess it will heal up quick, but got the nice visual. So he's all bloody. Jungle Boy hits him with a Hurricane Rana through a table. Then Matt Jackson hits a big elbow drop through a table on the other side, and they fight their way into the audience. This is where Christian hits his big spot. He just climbs up the stairs, jumps off the balcony onto the guys. Yeah,
you gotta do something.
That was his moment. And then they pull out the thumbtacks, stuff him in Jungle Boy's mouth, super kick him in the face. And then we get the ladder. A bunch of guys get slammed into that. So they're pulling out all the stops. Eventually they fight to the top of the ramp. And then Adam Cole pulls out a little bag full of custom knee pads for the three of them. They got thumbtacks all over the front. So, they put those on. They hit Luchasaurus with a triple spiked up BTE trigger. Go for the cover, but Jungle Boy breaks up that pin.
This whole part started to get a bit confusing because then it was just it kept being 2-on-1 or 1-on-1, and then somebody comes sprinting in to break it up, and then it would be a new 1-on-1 or 2-on-1, and then a pin, and then somebody else comes to fucking sprint. It just kind of there was just one point. God, who was it? I think it was Adam Cole. Goes up to right where the entrance ramp is, the little truss structure that you can climb. And God, I think it was Adam Cole. He starts climbing it, but then as he's climbing it, I'm like, that only goes 7 feet in the air. That actually doesn't go that high. And there was a ceiling kind of built into it. And then he also he took this little funny jump onto Jungle Boy from 1.5 feet up.
I think he did the Panama Sunrise off of it.
Yeah, I think that might have been where it happened. Yeah, but just he got he was a foot taller. Yeah, a little messy sometimes.
Yeah, they were crawling all over there. Then at the end, Luchasaurus, he picks up Cole, chokeslams him off the stage onto a pile of bodies. And then Luchasaurus hits a standing shooting star press onto all of them. That was quite impressive.
That was a big move. Big move.
Yeah, big move. And then the finale, Christian, he pulls out the chairs, sets up Cole, or Matt, I forget who it was, for the concerto. But then Jungle Boy steps up. He takes the chair. He wants to finish the job. So he slams the chair down, cracks the guy's skull, makes the cover, gets the 3. And they win. Christian and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus get the win.
Yeah, this was really fun.
Yeah, lots of weapons. They fought all over the crowd. everyone was having fun.
And I guess this is this is Adam Cole's first pay-per-view with AEW. He's got to be on the card. You got to have the kid on the card.
Yeah, he was on the card. Didn't win, but didn't get pinned. So that's fair.
That's not bad.
Fair game.
Fair game.
Then we get tag team action. Andrade, El Idolo, and Malachi Black taking on Cody Rhodes and Pac. And once again, tons of boos from the crowd for Cody Rhodes. And pretty much any time he gets any sort of offense in, they would just shower the boos.
And every single week, it's just when's it going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, even just for tagging into the match, he was getting...
And he was pulling some of those things early on. I think Pac was in the match and he kind of backed into the corner, and then Cody tagged himself in, and he got a good amount of boos there.
Yeah, getting the force tag, but the wrestling was good. Lots of heat. Once again, Cody teased the pedigree. He hooks those arms. Jose and Arn Anderson, they fight each other to the back. So. Black and Andrade start having some disagreements. Cody hits a big top rope reverse suplex to Andrade. But then eventually the match comes down to Pac and Andrade. Pac hits a reverse Rana, and then the Black Arrow gets the win for him and Cody.
Yeah, and I think Arn Anderson got a little pop, I think, when... because he's all about guns now.
Ever since that promo.
Ever since that one promo.
Yeah. He does his little finger gun now and shoots at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, at least Black, he wasn't pinned here. So, yeah. Not a big deal. Not a big loss for him or anything.
Yeah, it was okay. This was one of those, look at all four of these guys. But, yeah.
It was more about the Cody boos than anything.
Possibly.
Everyone just... Yeah. It's just the thing now. He's like the John Cena, the Roman Reigns. When you go, you boo Cody.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But let's move on to the AEW Women's World Title. We got Britt Baker defending against Ty Conti. I think Baker, she had a live guitar. I think it was the Fozzy guitarist.
That's what somebody said. It was the Fozzy guitar player. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows what his name is?
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, Baker's song isn't one that I know enough. I mean, it's not really like a sing-along song to begin with, so...
No, really but I bet Jericho has in his contract somewhere that he, gets his band gets to play, every after party or something, So, the guitar player's always there.
Well, anyways, this ended up being a pretty nice competitive match here. Even with Rebel and Hayter causing a bunch of trouble for Ty, she still, hangs in there, puts on a good fight. Her and Baker fight to the edge of the apron, and Britt hits a big air raid crash right to the edge of the ring. Conti fights back. She hits the Ty KO. That gets a big near fall. Then a bit after, she hits a nice Gotch-style pile driver. Another big near fall. She's coming real close here. So Baker has to get help from her two friends on either side. She gets a curb stomp on Ty right into the steel steps. And then afterwards, Conti ends up hitting the DDT, but Brick kicks out of that. So Conti's ace in the hole. Could not get her the win. She goes for another one, but Baker counters, ends up just pinning her down, gets a 3 count.
Sometimes that's all it takes, just a quick little pin.
Yeah,
there's some wild bumps in this one.
Yeah, dives to the floor, moonsaults.
Yeah, there was some. I think there was some moonsault to the floor actually.
Yeah. Ty Conti, put up a real good fight. Looked cool. She had some face paint on a little bit there.
Yeah, she had a cool thing going on. Commentary was fucking putting her over this whole time too.
Yeah. JR did a real good job. The ace in the hole, the TD tie.
Yeah, if JR does nothing, just put over the right person.
Yeah, and here's their name, here's their finisher. When they do that, go crazy.
And here's what college they did athletes. they did sports at.
Yeah, well, he played minor league baseball.
Thanks, JR.
But, good match. Baker gets the win, as expected. But, yeah.
Wonder how they're going to fill out this the field now that now that they have this TBS championship, probably be defended on that brand, I guess. I wonder how they're going to kind of split it up, because I still see Britt Baker as being the top champion,
Yeah, I think they'll be treating it still as the top belt, and TBS will be the second. But I guess we'll see who wins that thing, just to see.
Mm-hmm. To see to see what they do with it.
That's right. But coming up next, we've got CM Punk taking on Eddie Kingston. And, once again, the crowd is just super hot for both of these guys. And Punk debuting his third look now in AEW. He's got these shorts.
UFC Punk.
UFC-style Punk, yeah. These were like 70s basketball shorts. Like they were still kind of baggy, but they were short shorts.
I think that's what you would wear in a UFC fight.
I mean, there's lots of options.
That's a good point.
But before the bell can even ring, Eddie comes up, hits Punk with the big spinning back fist. So gets an early advantage there. And that's what they did throughout the match. Just hard-hitting punches, physicality. The crowd starts off pretty split, but, as the match went on, they start to turn on Punk, and he was definitely antagonizing it.
He was antagonizing it. At one point, he gets bloodied up. And the mad face of a bloody Punk. It's terrifying.
Eddie busts him open. Punk comes back. As his blood's dripping down his face, he does the John Cena comeback spot. That's when the boos start to pour in.
Oh, I loved that, because I hadn't seen him, so I was like, wait, I know that. There was this
you see the first.
You see it.
He does the shoulder tackle, and then he does another one. You're like, oh boy.
You see it kind of play out, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. And the crowd, they knew, they caught on. They're like, oh shit, and they booed the shit out of him because he hits the. Eddie goes for the clothesline. He ducks, hits the spin out, and then he puts his hand up like he's gonna do the 5-knuckle shuffle. You can't see me, but he doesn't quite go that far, but. He went as close as he could.
The crowd would have exploded if that happened.
Yeah, I mean, either way, just the tease, that was pretty cool. But he does end up hitting the go to sleep. Doesn't make the pin though, which gets even more boos as he decides to just pound away on Eddie some more. And this is when the UFC fighter comes out. He starts just big knees, elbows, crowd booing him as he's just prolonging the beating. Hoists up Kingston once again. Hits a second GTS, makes the cover, and gets the pinfall victory.
Yeah, this was a fun match. They promised us a fight. They gave us a fight. They gave us a fight.
And I like those seeds that they planted for Punk. Some teases of a heel turn there. He definitely can get the crowd booing him if he wants. So
I mean, really goes to show. Yeah, he can really make the crowd do either one. It's funny, like either of these guys, right? Eddie Kingston was a heel not too long ago. Babyface again, came in kind of as the heel of this match, but I think certainly left, a little more babyface.
Yeah, although he does pull off the last move when Punk offers a handshake. Eddie refuses, walks off.
Hey, that's
so still no respect. But hey, that's Eddie.
That's not about respect, That's about
Well, there's certainly no respect in this next match because we've got the Inner Circle taking on Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and the American Top Team, who is Dan Lambert, Junior Dos Santos, and Andre Arlovsky. That's right. So those five, Minneapolis street fight.
Which for those listening, I just have to say is pretty much like a Chicago street fight. Or a Boston street fight, or
a
Tricker street fight. Just so everyone knows. It's not like there may be something pertinent to the city of Minneapolis, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, but there still was proper tag rules in this match. One legal man at a time.
Yeah, which I didn't get that.
Yeah, because the other match we had earlier, it was just kind of everyone.
Kind of free for all, and of course this turns into a free for all. But
yeah, I guess this is one way to protect a couple guys because, some of them not quite as experienced. Arlovsky, he was a little bit, little sloppy, but not too bad. I mean, he was fine. Junior Dos Santos, though, I like him. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
But, then, of course, you had Lambert just running around, avoiding contact whenever he can, jumping in, taking some cheap shots on Jericho. And then they pull out this barrel just full of Minneapolis-themed weapons, which apparently all these things were invented in Minneapolis. Hockey sticks, toaster, bunt cake pan, even a giant Prince sign that Jericho pulls out. Leads to a Purple Rain chant.
Yeah. Like, okay, thanks, Jericho. That was his idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But then Page, he gets Ortiz. He wraps his head up in a chair, slams him neck first into the ring post. But then they cover Page in a garbage can and just whack the shit out of him with hockey sticks.
Yeah, that one looked bad.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But Santana and Ortiz at one point, they do this cool... It was like a 4-man submission, like a Megazord, where they each grabbed the guy and they all walked together. What else? We had a water ski table set up on the floor. They put Scorpio Sky on the table, and then they pull out this humongous ladder, 20 feet tall.
This thing was huge.
Yeah. So, of course, Sammy Guevara, he's going to be the one to climb it. He scales up the top and hits a huge swanton bomb.
Yeah, just make your most valuable asset fucking climb up the 20-foot ladder.
Well, it's not going to be Jericho, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But, big swanton bomb through the ladder. Very Jeff Hardy style.
Yeah.
So he's out of that match for a little bit. Page hits the Ego's Edge to Santana right on the floor. Drops him hard on the mat. But then Page gets in the face of someone in the crowd. And it's old wrestling legend, the Baron, who just grabs him and applies the claw. I don't know if you've ever heard of this guy.
Never even heard of this guy, but I put the pieces together. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. No. I know him. I've seen like a match on an old like Road Warriors DVD, but yeah, he's some old guy.
Like old, like before anything was anything type of stuff.
Yeah.
Mid South.
But yeah, one of those types things. But anyways, back in the ring, Jericho finally gets his hand on Lambert, beats him around. He's got him laid out. He jumps on the ropes for the lion salt, but instead he just lands and pauses, and he starts yelling, "Junior! Junior!" Because he was late for his spot, I think, Junior Dos Santos, so he had to wait, and then he jumps up, punches Jericho in the face, stops the lion salt.
Oh, I think I missed that.
Yeah, it was just a funny little moment. It was only a couple seconds,
Junior!
Because I was watching with headphones on. I could catch it.
Oh, okay. Shit. I might have to go back and I want to hear that.
Yeah. But Jericho fights back. He pulls a stapler out, staples Lambert in the nuts. Then he hits a frog splash, gets a 3 count to get the win.
Well, yeah. So what was the whole deal? Why was everyone doing Eddie stuff?
This was like the third. So I think it was the anniversary of Eddie's death, and it was the city he died in or something like that.
Yeah, okay, so I heard it was the city that he died in. I didn't know it was...
Might have been the 15th anniversary or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there was like...
Okay.
There was like 3 different matches that had frog splashes and Eddie chants.
Yeah, and the Lucha Bros are doing it, but then like before that in the match, I think like FTR was kind of mockingly doing it.
Yeah, I think CM Punk did it against Eddie Kingston to like mock him. Like they're chanting Eddie, but not for you.
Yeah, okay. No, I knew it was kind of some. I wasn't sure if there was more to it than that. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
but,
I buy it.
Inner Circle get the win, and then right before the main event, Tony Schiavone comes out to announce newest member of AEW, Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal. I only know him because of his Ric Flair impression.
The best Ric Flair impression of all time.
Possibly.
But, yeah, also, I think he's been a Ring of Honor, Impact, a bunch of those champions.
Yeah, I think that's his thing. Yeah, Ring of Honor, yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, that's cool. But main event time. This is the one we've been making for over a year now. This feud, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, once partners, best friends, not the best friends, but tag team champions, now fighting for the World Heavyweight title. And the crowd, of course, just super hyped up from the bell. And, Kenny left the Bucks backstage, but Don Callis is still out there, of course. So he had a big hand in this match, just punching, kicking, doing anything he can when the ref's not looking. Yeah. And, they gave it their all. Kenny hit his big Terminator dive over the top rope. Hangman hits a moonsault to the floor. They fight to the top rope, and Kenny hit this springboard sunset Liger bomb. JR didn't even know what to do. He was just like, Excalibur, help me out. What is that?
Yeah, I would call it a, probably that.
Yeah, but, and then those Snapdragon suplex Kenny loves doing. He does that on the edge of the apron. Hits a V-trigger, and then a Tiger Driver 98. That got a big 2 count.
That was a close 2 count.
2.9. I think he's ended matches with that before. But they fight up to the top rope once again. Hangman hits this beautiful. It's like a moonsault follow-away slam. Looks real good there. And then at one point, he just ripped the camera off the top of the ring post.
Yeah, I felt bad at that. I felt bad for the camera guy at that moment. He's like, God damn it.
Well, it's the last match. It's okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So he just stands on that, dives onto Kenny. They crash through another table there. Hangman, they go back in the ring. He goes for the buckshot lariat, but Kenny pulls the ref in the way, so he gets taken out. And Don Callis takes advantage. He goes to bring the belt into the ring. But Hangman grabs a hold of him. He knocks Callis out. Kenny picks up the belt, swings at Page, but he ducks that, hits Omega with the Deadeye. He makes the cover. Aubrey Edwards comes sprinting down from the back.
Definitely the fastest official. Definitely one of the fastest officials.
Probably the youngest, too, by a margin.
But,
she slides into the ring, makes the count, but Kenny kicks out at 2.
Well, I mean, he kicked out at like 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah, that's fair. But, so they start slugging it out some more, and then the Young Bucks, they finally do come down to the ring. Everyone's booing them. We don't need you here. Page sets up for the buckshot, but Kenny catches him with a V-trigger, goes for a one-winged angel, but Page maneuvers his way out of that. And then he hits his own one-winged angel. But Kenny kicks out because,
imagine that. Because imagine that.
Yeah. So Page, he rolls out, and then he sees Nick at the ringside just looking at him. He doesn't do anything. He just jumps back in the ring, hits a buckshot lariat to the back of Kenny. He goes to the other side of the ring, and Matt's now looking at him, and he just kind of nods his head. Like, yes, he knows it's over.
Oh, I thought he was shaking his head like... No more, Kenny. I thought it was more of a head shake.
Oh, I thought it was like a nod, like, yes, Paige, finish him. It's over. Well, we don't know. We don't know for sure. Only Matt knows. Yeah. But one thing's for sure, Hangman hits that second buckshot lariat to the front of Kenny. And that's all she wrote. 1, 2, 3, new World Heavyweight Champion. Crowd goes wild.
Crowd goes off. Buck wild. AEW's
Buck wild. Hey.
The longest storyline, the saga of Omega and Page going back to some of the first AEW events ever.
Yeah. I mean, Hangman in the first ever match for the world title against Jericho.
Adam Hangman and Page I'm from a man not believing him to himself and forsaking his friends as they found their championship success and
yeah. I think at the end, the Dark Order, they come running out, don't they? For the big
all the
celebration.
baby faces came in at the end.
Yeah.
And
the big hug. Carry him on his shoulders.
Yeah, and whatever to do with that ending, whatever that was, they stuck that fucking perfectly. They hit that ending. And the end of, Kenny Omega. This is Kenny Omega we're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, great world title reign. It's been heavily talked about. He's dealing with some injury shit, so it sounds like he's going to go away for a little while. But, I mean, boy, he went out with a huge bang. Excellent match. Excellent pay-per-view.
Yeah, another incredible show. AEW back-to-back, putting up, like, fucking pay-per-view of the year candidates.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was that was all of the Full Gear. Jesus Christ, that was a lot of fun. That was a great pay-per-view. I was home alone. I made some popcorn. I had a bottle of Tito's vodka for dog people. And sometimes you just gotta fucking watch it.
Yeah, great show. Very crowd pleasing.
Yeah, my new thing now, if I'm watching live, always watch the catch-up stream. I always find the catch-up stream always works much clearer than the non-catch-up stream. Have you found that?
Yeah, I don't know. I had to watch it later this time, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and the WWE ones I don't have to stream.
Hell. Let's get into some WWE action while we're on the topic, because Survivor Series is coming up. It's right around the road. It's this weekend, actually. So let's go back in time a day or two to cover up some SmackDown Live. Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for SmackDown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait, we used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just SmackDown Live.
SmackDown SD.
Because our teams are already figured out, I think. They were figured out fucking last week, I think.
Well, don't be so sure.
Okay.
Because I don't think they're figured out until the show starts. But Sonya Deville, she's in the ring to present us with the SmackDown women's team. We got Shotzi, so big role for her. Natalya, Shayna Baszler, and the biggest surprise of all, Aaliyah, who I'm sure a lot of these people don't even know who she is.
Aaliyah, I hardly know her.
Yeah, I mean, even on NXT, she wasn't featured much. She was just kind of... but yeah, huge spot here for her. She even got a little cheer from the crowd, so some people know her.
A little pop?
But little pop. But the big pop happens when the team captain, Sasha Banks, she comes out. But then Naomi comes out. She's pissed. It's like, Sonya, what the fuck? You won't put me in this team? And big brawl. So that has to lead us to 6-woman tag action. Sasha, Naomi, and Aaliyah taking on Shotzi, Shayna, and Natalya. Shotzi continues to look good. Yeah, they kind of isolate Naomi for a while, but then eventually Aaliyah, she gets the hot tag, hits a crossbody off the top rope. Yeah, she hit a couple other good moves, looked all right. Ends up coming down to her and Natalya. And she reverses a sharpshooter, rolls up Natalya and gets a 3.
Aaliyah scoring that roll-up upset.
Yeah, huge debut.
Well,
for Aaliyah.
It wouldn't be Survivor Series without at least one of the teams having a lot of like dissent within it. You know, if I can recall, I think last year Seth Rollins just like sacrificed himself. I want to say a couple years ago, there was something to do with like Braun Strowman. Where, like, I don't know, like every single year, one of the teams is having, like, they blow up from the inside, which is what made that NXT edition of Survivor Series so important, because they were all like, yeah, we are NXT. Once you get to the main roster, you're like, fuck this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But we, you know, it's a nice way. I guess we got to do it, and Aaliyah is an underdog. Star in the making. Calling it right now.
There you go. I mean, big win. She gets a big hug. Everyone's in disbelief. But the happy times don't last too long, because afterwards, backstage, she's getting interviewed. Sonya Deville interrupts. She's like, oh, you're friends with Naomi? Well, guess what? You're no longer in the Survivor Series match. So just like that, take away her dream.
That's not fair.
Quickly.
That's not fair.
Yeah, you know what? I actually did. I felt bad, so they did a good job of making me care about her within mere minutes. But yeah, I mean, Pat McAfee says Sonya's drunk on power by ruining this person's dreams here. Another person's dream.
And truly is. She truly is. And you can tell because nobody who wears all black is trustworthy. There I say it. There I said it. I said it.
All right.
Yep.
Nakamura, Rick Boogs take on Los Lotharios. I mean, crowd's still into Boogs. He's still looking pretty good, him and Nakamura.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lotharios, they hit this leg sweep drop kick. I don't know whatever it is, but it's their finisher, and they get the win. So I don't know. They got a name, and now they're getting wins.
A name and a win is two big things. I have to put over Rick Boogs, who like a YouTube bodybuilder, weightlifter guy, is friends with Boogs, and checked out Rick Boogs' at-home gym setup, and oh boy, is it ever greasy. But it's pretty cool. Rick Boogs, got to put that over.
He's jacked. He's jacked.
Yeah.
I mean, he did that one spot where he does the gut wrench power bomb and just like lifts you, drops you, lifts you.
Got it. Yeah. I got to put him over for that. That's all I got.
Yeah. Your queen, Charlotte Flair.
Our queen.
She comes out.
What?
Your queen.
Our queen.
Not my queen.
Okay.
Not my queen. Queen Zelina. But Charlotte Flair comes out, cuts a promo on Becky. You know, the match coming up. Survivor Series. I guess the big thing, I don't know what, she just kept going back and forth saying, uh-oh, with the crowd, and they started chanting, uh-oh.
Yeah.
It actually got over. Just like, uh-oh.
I honestly think she's trying to popularize a new chant, and I think uh-oh is the new thing. Uh-oh is the new what.
I mean, it could work.
It's it's that simple. What? That's so simple.
This crowd was into it.
Uh-oh, it's so simple.
This crowd was into it. Yeah. But then she's like, yeah, I fought Shotzi, and now she's a star, so you can call me the Star Maker. But then Toni Storm interrupts, which is very nice to see her. Mm-hmm. And she just comes out, calls Charlotte. It's like, all right, you're the Star Maker. Put your money where your mouth is. Accept my challenge right now for the title. Charlotte says, absolutely not. And she leaves to a big boo.
Good. She's got a big match. Coming up. Why would you risk it before a big match coming up?
Because it would have been a great match. Entertain the crowd.
That's a good point. You want the crowd to go home happy.
Well, the crowd loves Jeff Hardy, so he's up next taking on Sami Zayn. And there's stuff on the line. Loser is kicked off of the Survivor Series team. So
that's fun. Love seeing a stip like that.
Yeah, why not? Crowd was hot. They were having fun. Eventually, Jeff hits the twist of fate, and then the Swanton Bomb gets the win, keeps his spot, costs Sami Zayn, which I don't agree with. But if he's leaving the company, then that's fine. Yeah,
if he's leaving the company, hopefully. I just hope. What would his new name be? That's really what we're waiting for. Yeah, these guys have been fighting each other for like 2 years now, I think, since they were involved in that IC title thing and the Sam is the real champion thing. It's funny that somebody as good on the mic as a heel as Sami Zayn is never got a main event attempt at that. Yeah, his brilliance was just kind of relegated to the mid card forever, like a Dolph Ziggler. Even Dolph Ziggler won the big gold belt.
Yeah, no, they definitely are wasting Sammy, so that's why I hope the contract's up and he moves on to more elite places.
Ooh.
But there was a quick little backstage thing where Adam Pearce had Von Wagner hanging out with him.
Oh, yeah,
what's he doing?
In a security, in a muscle type of role.
Yeah, so I don't know what's up with that. But
are we calling him up already?
I don't know. I have no idea. He's still doing his thing on NXT, so who knows? But we're still waiting on this other call up, Xia Li. They show another coming soon promo, but still no date.
Oh,
no
well, Mike,
week.
we know that coming soon can go on for indefinitely.
I mean, come on. Yeah, some of them. But the main event of SmackDown, you had Roman Reigns fighting King Woods in a loser must bend the knee match. So, yeah, all about that.
So I guess whatever that means.
Yeah, you got to bend the knee.
That's a good point.
So, crowds all behind Woods here. Big underdog versus the big dog. And he does pretty well until Roman slams him into the announce table, just starts beating him over, all over the ring. But then Woods has a comeback. He stops the spear with a big super kick, and then he hits his tightrope elbow drop from coast to coast onto Roman. He makes the cover, but then the damn Usos show up. They pull Woods to the floor, beat him up, cause the DQ. So Woods technically wins, though.
I mean, by DQ, that should still count, right?
Yeah, so, but then they just beat him up, slam him into the steps. They take Woods' crown, and then Reigns bends his knee as they put Woods' crown on his head. Wow. So I guess, hey, he did bend the knee.
King Roman. King Roman, sure.
That's not fair.
Not. God, how many days is Roman Reigns sitting at as champion right now?
I don't know. He's got to be pretty close to that Brock Lesnar. If he hasn't already passed him.
Jesus Christ, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. He's the king. He is the king of world wrestling entertainment right now. Give it to him. Has the champion ever been the king, or is that kind of like exclusively held to somebody who's not in the main event?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Right. Okay. I'm just curious. But that was SmackDown.
That was it.
I guess we still will have one more SmackDown before the actual Survivor Series. That's coming up this Sunday. So what do we think, Mike? Should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. We'll come back, hop into some, Raw, NXT, Dynamite. The Dynamite falling out of Full Gear. Stick around. You're going to love it.
Oh, yeah. We'll be back.
Let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Brother. Yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot. Brother. Yeah.
Back here with part 2 of the podcast. Folks, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking through the break. Mike, a brief Leafs check. What's the score? We're still up 1-0.
2-0.
2-0. Who scored that second Gino?
I think it was Morgan Riley. He scored both of them.
Morgan Riley, worth every penny. Take that, haters.
Hat-trick watch is in effect, folks.
Take that, Ryan from my work, who thinks that Morgan Riley's overpaid. Take that.
Yeah, take it.
Take it.
Good stuff, though.
That sounds great. Way to go, Leafs. Go, Leafs, go. Let's get into, let's keep moving on through our week, through the weekend, baby. Exactly halfway through the month of November, the 15th, we have Monday Night Raw.
Let's get raw. Let's get raw.
I believe actually before Monday Night Raw was actually on the air before Mondays.
What?
Yeah. Before they called it Monday Night Raw was on the air. It's yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what did they call it? Did they just call it Raw?
They just called it Raw. Yeah, they just called it Raw.
Ah.
Yeah, little known fact. Because what do we have? We're building up to our Survivor Series, and we open Big E, our WWE champion, for probably like a month and a half now, 2 months now.
Yeah, around something like that. Cuts a promo on Reigns and the match coming up at Survivor Series, and calls out Kevin Owens because they've been having a little thing, and but Owens is like, I don't have to fight you. Big E was like, yeah, well, do it anyways. Owens. So Owens is like, no, and he walks to the back. Big E goes after him, but then the Usos appear and they beat up Big E. Then Riddle, of all people, comes down to make the save because he's just, all around good guy. And then Sonya Deville just comes out and says, everyone, stay where you are. Tag match. So I think that this is going to be, we're going to have to invoke our first official use of the Brand to Brand Invitational.
I love that you said that, Mike. I had the tab open, ready to go. It is color coordinated. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Usos, that's definitely.
This is it. Yeah, there's no other way. There's no other way. They have no reason to be here. There's no Survivor Series clause.
No.
Thank you.
I mean, they're not even on, or I guess they are on the card, but yeah, Big E, Riddle versus the Usos. Rollins comes out to do commentary, but early on, one of the Usos gets thrown into him, so he gets pissed, attacks, causes the DQ, a big brawl, and then Randy Orton comes out to help his buddy Riddle, and we restart the whole thing as a 6-man tag. And yeah, just more of the same. It comes down to Rollins and Riddle. Seth hits Riddle with a bunch of elbows and then stacks him up for the 3 count.
Yeah, it was a classic bunch of promos that go on for a long time, and then eventually a match. Happens.
Yeah, pretty much. Then we get Bianca Belair versus Tamina. Was speaking of a match that happened. That's pretty much what this was. Yeah, Tamina gets a couple moves in, tries to hit her splash, but Bianca just tosses her, and then hits the KOD, gets the win. But then afterwards, Doudrop comes out and just like, yeah, I'm going to look for you on Sunday. So maybe we'll get a bonus match.
A bonus pre-show match. Wow.
Sounds made for the pre-show.
Yeah, I guess Tamina's in the limbo now, right? Because Natalya and her were split up via the draft, so you can only assume that Tamina goes back to being a heel anytime she's needed to do anything.
I mean, they released Nia, so she's the go-to big.
Yeah, she's by default kind of like the biggest person on the roster right now. And the feud with Doudrop, interesting because it seems like Doudrop's playing the heel, which means shifting character, which means give her her name back, not the sound like what a candy. It sounds like a candy.
And you know what? That could also lead to a KOD on Doudrop, which would be that could be spot of the year if she pulls that off.
That'd be a big one. That would be a big one.
That'd be huge. That'd be cool. Then Becky Lynch comes out, big ovation. She's cutting a promo on Charlotte and running down their history together. Charlotte always wanted to be the star, didn't care about our friendship, so I'm going to beat the piss out of her at Survivor Series. But then Liv Morgan shows up because she says, remember, I'm the number 1 contender, so you need to gotta watch out for me too. But then Becky plays this clip of Liv Morgan from like 4 or 5 months ago, where Liv says that when Becky left to go have her baby, she told Morgan that by the time I come back, you're going to be champion. So that's a big endorsement there. But then Becky's like, yeah, guess what? Sorry, I was wrong. You underperformed. Crowd boos. But then Liv's just like, yeah, big time Bex, you're just a big time bitch. So
the big B word, you know what that means, kids.
Yeah, she crossed the line. Becky's had enough. Hits the manhandle slam, or she tries to, but Morgan counters and Becky slinks away.
Yeah, she still is the number 1 contender, and Becky Lynch still getting the positive crowd reactions despite being very much so a heel.
Yeah, I mean, she gets cheered, but then she's still able to get them to boo at parts of her promos as well.
At parts.
It's one of those things. She'll always have it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she could have it 100% of the cheers, but they don't want that right now for whatever reason. But tag action, Street Profits, Alpha Academy. I mean, Chad Gable, he's always going to look good in any match. And Otis hitting his big power moves. Gable goes for a crossbody. But Montez catches him, rolls through, just pins him for the 3.
For the 3. Neither one of these teams getting win, or, both of these teams needing wins. Only one of them getting it.
Yeah, I mean, they're both capable teams. We want these Raw tag titles. They get hot for a month, they cool off for a month. This RK Bro thing is already kind of losing steam.
But it seems
So who
like
knows?
the Raw tag scene is big, between these two teams. I guess we do kind of have the champs, AJ Omos. I think the Viking Raiders are on this team also.
Yeah, I mean, the talent's there.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That always seems to happen, too. And it always seems to happen whenever the belts aren't being used well.
Yeah. Much like those women's tag team champions.
Amen.
Nikki Ash comes out next because she's taking on Queen Zelina. There was one move Nikki hit. I haven't seen her do it before. It was kind of like a Death Valley Michinoku driver. Looked real nice.
Okay.
But then at ringside, Carmella distracts her, which allows Vega to hit the code red. And that move is deadly right now because that gets her another win. So long live the Queen.
Yeah, long live the Queen. Zelina Vega's not in the place where she'd be getting losses.
Not anymore. This is the new Vega.
But that being
even
said,
talks
the
with her
women's
British
tag
accent.
division is all but non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Queen, Vega, and Carmella seem to be a new team. So why not just throw that belts on them for see what happens?
Yeah, just see what happens. But it is nice to see.
At this point.
You can have two women's matches, 3 women's matches on a card. It can happen.
Well, that's what happens because we get another women's match right after.
Boom.
Carmella takes on Rhea Ripley. Mella hits a bunch of stiff-looking kicks here on the slow-mo replays. Just all face.
All face.
But Ripley fights back, hits the riptide, gets the win.
Yeah, in that match.
Yeah, and pretty much it. Yeah, that.
Do you think Nikki Ash will be Nikki Ash, that character, forever?
No, but
You think we go back to
I don't know,
Sanity
it's
or
only-
something kind of in the middle?
Well, Karrion Kross isn't even here anymore, so why
Exactly.
not just go back to? Yeah, I don't know. They might just call her Nikki,
Why not?
knowing them, but it's better than Nikki Ash.
Yeah, anything's better.
Kevin Owens fights Finn Balor, and pretty good match. Owens hits a pop-up power bomb. Balor kicks out. I think it's officially just not a finisher for him anymore. Only the stunner can finish the job. But Finn Balor goes for his finish, the coup de grace, but Owens ends up knocking the ropes out from underneath him. Balor falls, hits his balls. Owens drags him back in, hits a stunner, gets the win.
Yeah, the crowd was really hot for this one. I forgot. I mean, God, Finn Balor is the ultimate, lost in the shuffle dude for me. I didn't know he was on Raw. Certainly, I think he was on SmackDown. I remember on SmackDown. I just really feel like he's a lost in the shuffle kind of guy.
Yeah, definitely on Raw right now.
Yeah.
Seems to be that way. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know what to say about that. But let's just go on to the tag team of AJ Styles and Omos taking on Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode. AJ and Omos standing in the babyface corner. Seems like they're kind of going that way.
Going that way
Right.
now, yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get cheered over the Dirty Dogs. So Omos tags in right away, just starts destroying everyone, does all the work, and then tags in AJ to hit the phenomenal forearm, get the finish, get the 3 count.
Well, yeah, and last week, Dirty Dogs and AJ and Omos were on, in part of the 8-man tag together, so now we see, every time they use Omos is interesting. He rarely gets to work the majority of the match, and I feel like he carried this one.
Yeah, this one he definitely
This
did
felt
a
like
lot
it was
more
the
than
most
AJ.
that he had been doing just by himself.
Yeah, I think they're being very careful. They're easing him in. They don't want to overexpose him. I think they have big plans for Omos.
They must.
Because,
Do you think world championship plans?
I think if they can get there, I think that's what they would like to do.
Wow.
Possible. I mean, he's already way better than the Great Khali ever was, and they gave him the belt. So.
Good point.
But there was one more match for this show. Bobby Lashley took on Rey Mysterio because, after last week, what Adam Pearce did to Dominic, Rey wasn't happy, gave him a piece of his mind. So Pearce is like, all right, same thing goes for you now. You can fight Bobby. And Rey tried his best, puts up a good fight. He has the whole crowd cheering him on. He had Dominic cheering him on. He hits the 619, hits the frog splash. He goes for the pin, but then Bobby Lashley just stands up while holding him and just turns him right around into the Hurt Lock. Ray taps out. And to add even more insult to it, Adam Pearce comes out and is like, yeah, Ray, I'm pulling you from the match now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so replacement to be announced, I guess. Oh, they announce it pretty quickly because Austin Theory shows up, hits him with the ATL, and he's like, I like your style. Austin Theory's now on Team Raw.
Like that, just like that. Hits one move on Dominic.
One move, one cheap shot out of nowhere.
It was like, I like, wait, you mean you didn't know what this guy could do? He's on your fucking brand, my guy.
Yeah. And he got to close Raw. Austin Theory of all people.
Wow,
on the Go Home Show to Survivor Series.
On the Go Home Show. If you'd have asked me.
He was added 5 seconds before.
Yeah, he was on 5 seconds of the whole show, and it was the very last and possibly the most important seconds leading up. Yeah, it lead up, kind of coming down and, we'll say the average episode of Raw these days. But certainly didn't feel like that Go Home Show, which is always very important. Get you hyped up,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially, there's the brand warfare, the T-shirts, none of that's around, it seems.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Just wait for Sunday, baby, when somebody's wearing an ill-fitting T-shirt, but they also wear trunks. So The Miz always looks like he's not wearing any pants. Or he's wearing, like, no bottoms. Like, he's just wearing a long T-shirt. And a man just wearing a T-shirt and no bottoms has to be one of the worst looks.
Yeah, it's a weird look.
It's a weird look. Let's move ahead through. That was Go Home. Let's go home, baby. Let's go home to the Performance Center. The WWE Performance Center has been the stomping ground of such big names as Bailey. Bailey started there.
Yeah.
Sasha Banks.
Pretty much all the 4 horsewomen.
All the 4 horsewomen, and that's about it. So let's bring you this week's episode of NXT 2.0.
NXT, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3.
But because see, here at NXT, we're looking for that next. We are looking for that next Bailey. We are looking for the next Sasha Banks. This is where we build the future of tomorrow today.
That's right. So let's start off with, one of the hot new guys that the crowd's really taking a liking to. We got Tony D'Angelo taking on Dexter Lumis in his this is his first real test here for the darling D'Angelo. But this match, he really kind of plays the heel role, kind of weasels his way around, thumb to the eye behind the ref's back. Then he hits his fisherman neck breaker and gets the win, just like that in 3 minutes. Huge win for D'Angelo. Yeah,
huge win. You don't see that too often, right? Dexter Lumis. Yeah. I feel like Dexter Lumis is in an LA Knight type of boat where kind of gotten lost in this little transition over to NXT 2.0.
Yeah, ever since getting married, he hasn't. That was his peak, it seems. He main evented that first episode of 2.0, or was it I can't remember which one it was.
May have, yeah.
Oh well. We got a 6-man tag: Odyssey Jones and Jacket Time taking on Diamond Mine. These Creed brothers, they continue to stand out to me. Just the big, heavy hunk of beef, but pretty good wrestlers, it seems. But yeah, Odyssey Jones, he puts up a good fight, and he ends up hitting Roddy with his big crossbody splash, gets a 3. So big win for Jones.
Big wins for Jacket Time. Jacket Time and Jones.
Yeah, JTJ.
Roderick Strong, once Strong. Does he still have that Cruiserweight Championship? Yes, he does.
Yeah, but no one's fighting him.
No one's fighting him
Jones
for it, I guess. And Kushida is now kind of in a different rig.
Yeah, just Jacket Time and Jones. He needs to put on their coat one day, do the fat guy in a little coat.
That'd be funny. That would be funny.
Yeah.
Big fat guy, little coat. Fat guy, little coat.
Zion Quinn takes on Andre Chase. Quinn just dominates most of the match, gets the easy win. Right after Legado, they attack him, including the return of Santos Escobar, and they just beat him down as Elektra Lopez looks at him seductively once again.
Seductively once again.
They're like Batman and Catwoman, you know? They're
Yeah.
like, ah.
Yeah. Real will they or won't they?
Yeah. But it's time for what may be the big event of the show, the Poker Showdown. We've got the wrestling ring all set up. Nice fancy carpet, the poker table, professional dealer there, the whole get-up. The game, of course, No Limit Texas Hold'em, the most popular poker game in the country. Duke Hudson, Cameron Grimes, talking some trash, dealing cards. They didn't have the glass on the table, but they had the nice close-up camera. They'd peek at their cards, so we got to see everything. All the graphics. They had everything done up. It looked like a real.
It looks
poker.
like a real poker
Looked
thing.
like-
The percentage in the corner.
Yeah, the percentage, the little graphics as they were calling, doing all the things. Anyways, so I won't give you a hand-by-hand play, but when it comes down to it, Duke, he's got a 3-of-a-kind, 92% chance of winning, but Grimes keeps raising him. But yeah, eventually it comes down to it. Grimes has a 0% chance of winning, but he keeps raising. Duke folds. He says, "You're not going to beat me this time." And Grimes wins. He was bluffing, and
Yeah.
that was pretty much it. He laughs at him. He freaks out. He powerbombs Grimes through the poker table. Sore loser. But then the worst part of all, he pulls out a pair of scissors and then just starts cutting off chunks of Grimey's beard and hair. Yeah, this was way too far.
This was way too far. This is you're cutting off the beard of a shooty winner?
Yeah,
For best hair.
Your best hair. I mean, this, like we said, I can't stop saying this. This was out of control. This was too far. If Regal was around, he should have
Where
immediately
the hell
stepped
is
in.
William Regal, goddammit? So he's just fully relinquished control.
Ever since 2.0 came around, he's been, I don't know.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Now it's fucking
Yeah.
people getting their
Big heat.
beards chopped off.
Yeah, not okay.
Not okay with me at least. But yeah, it was this was one of those classic things where like if you didn't know poker, you'd kind of be lost, but then if you knew poker, you would be like, "Oh, this is bullshit." Anyway, it was one of those classic in the middle for both type of segments.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that great, but Grimy is, everyone loves him, so they were just happy
And
to
it was
see him
weird
get the
for Hudson's. It sort of feels like his gimmick is like he would beat Cameron Grimes.
I mean, if he's supposed to be this good poker player.
Exactly, right? And
he
then like
should've-
losing his cool after getting bluffed
like,
out.
You bluffed me. How dare you?
Yeah, that's sort of like,
poker, baby.
I thought he was supposed to be, hey, I'm a cool guy. Hey, I'm gonna eat pizza in Brooklyn. I thought he was a cool guy, not like this little bitch who's like, you bluffed me. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And then he cuts
Yeah,
off
fuck
his
dude.
beard.
Yeah. I hope he's gonna have to pay a big price for that.
Amen.
But let's go along to Jensen and Briggs, the big blue collar boys, taking on Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner, the maybe would be bodyguard. We don't know yet.
So you see somebody.
But it was an okay tag match. Briggs and Jensen, good team. But Wagner, he gets a hold of him, hits this double underhook neck breaker, gets the pin for him and Kyle.
Is Kyle O'Reilly leaving soon?
Hopefully him and Roddy, everyone, we've got to.
They have to make it happen. They have to reunite the band.
Yeah, exactly. They just had to switch record labels. That's it. Persia Parada is she was supposed to be in a tag match with Indy, but Indy went to the hospital with Dexter after his beat down.
Because that's still a thing.
Yeah. So Persia's on her own, taking on Gabby Stevens and Jenna Levy. And you haven't heard of them, so she's probably going to be just fine here, even with the 2-on-1. That's pretty much it. Yeah, Persia, she beats them both up. It's a double Samoan drop, and then the TKO to get the dominant victory.
Yeah. I guess, his index. It was funny, didn't we? I think the premiere of NXT 2.0 was the big index wedding, and instead of them rising to the top of the being the it couple of NXT, they've been relegated to losing matches and then going to the hospital when local medical facility. When is that because like hospitals trademarked like singing happy birthday?
No, they've said hospital before. I think they just think it sounds better, medical facility.
Yeah, or maybe I wonder because that mean anything. I feel like medical facility could be like a dentist. It could be like an oral surgeon, ear, nose, and throat doctor, an optometrist.
Yeah.
Wider branch, cast a wider net.
Yeah, exactly. NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa comes out, starts cutting a promo, but all the young guys here, and he gets interrupted by Braun Breaker, who gets a pretty good ovation. And, the dogs are barking at him. And he just says, yeah, Ciampa, the only guy you should be worried about is me. I'm going to run through you, take that title. Woof, woof, woof. And everyone's barking.
Yeah, so everyone woofs now. That's a thing. So remember, we have our 2 chants coming up. We have and woof.
Woof. But Ciampa's like, yeah, you're going to beat me? Don't you remember the end of Halloween Havoc? And, we play the footage of that. And Ciampa starts referencing Scott Steiner's famous math promo. I don't know if you've ever seen that one online, but
no, I haven't.
It's one of those Botchamania.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll watch Botchamania.
Yeah, and then he just says, "Yeah, bark up the tree all you want, but you're just a puppy, and I'm the champ." And he walks off. So leaving that on the table.
I mean, it seems like maybe then it still feels like he is the next guy to win that championship.
Yeah, how soon we don't
quite know.
But he will be the next NXT champion, I think.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say. I mean, no, they do have a War Games coming up. That could be it.
Yeah, if he's fighting on War Games.
Who knows? Maybe also if they're going like in front of people.
Yeah, I don't know any of the details yet for War Games. But let's go to the main event of the episode. Raquel Gonzalez takes on Dakota Kai in a rematch here. Long history between these two. Mm-hmm. And got a good amount of time here for the main event. Raquel dominates early on, but Dakota fights her way back. Crowd's pretty split between them. Getting hot as it goes on. Lots of cool little sequences, reversals. At one point, the turnbuckle pad gets removed, and Raquel gets slammed headfirst into that. And then Dakota pulls out the shovel, but Raquel stops her. Then she picks up the shovel, ready to hit Kai with it, until Toxic Attraction run out. They attack Raquel, causing the DQ, ruining what was a pretty good match going on. But,
Yeah, I guess DQs have to happen. I think this was certainly the best part of NXT, was probably this last match, right?
Yeah, the wrestling for the most part was good.
Yeah. Was it good enough to sell the entire show? Who knows? But, I guess with War Games on the horizon, Toxic Attraction have dominated NXT since arriving. So they're clearly they have the spot as the heels. The 3 of them, and then what do we need? 2 more? Maybe just 1 more?
Dakota and 1 more.
Yeah, Dakota and 1 more. Leaving Raquel Gonzalez. She was the standout from last year's War Games, and who isn't to say she can't do it again?
Yeah, well, after this match, they're all beating Raquel up, and Cora Jade runs out to help her, and then Zoe Stark, she kind of comes out with her crutch. She limps out, hands a crutch to Io. She comes in, so they're all fighting. Big brawl, and then at the end, Io grabs a mic and yells, "War Games!" So I guess that's going to be the War Games.
I guess, yeah. So I guess this is it right here, right? That's all you need to say is just the 2 words. Really curious to see if it's actually a show or if it's just, if it's a pay-per-view.
I mean, yeah, I think it's a pay-per-view, but I don't know where it is. If it's in this building, seems pretty small for have that double cage.
Yeah, I think it is at the PC. That's what I'm seeing right here. December 5th at the PC.
Well, either way, we got a couple weeks to figure the rest out.
Of course. And then, WWE Day 1. Remember that?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right. That was NXT. Should we just jump on over to the Wednesday?
Let's jump on over to the night that was previously known for its war. But war is over, baby. Let's get into some All Elite Wrestling Dynamite.
AEW. All Elite. They coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
The premiere show out there on TNT for now. Remember, TBS. We'll let everybody know when that transition happens. Let's celebrate everything that was Full Gear. Yeah, I didn't deserve it. I effing earned it. The quotes of National Cowboy Shit Day. Live from wherever, Virginia. I guess wherever Adam Hangman Page is from. He comes down. John Silver with the big intro. Virginia is for lovers and cowboy shit. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, great words on the mic. Huge cheers. He thanks everyone. He's so happy. And, he talks about his first challenger, Bryan Danielson, who right on cue comes out, gets right in the ring. He says, "Congratulations, Hangman," shakes his hand. And, he says, "I'm excited for the title match, but I'm a little bit surprised and disappointed that it's not Kenny Omega who's standing across from me right now." Oh, yeah, that's what the crowd says. And Hangman says, "Yeah, well, I beat Kenny, and I did it in less than 30 minutes." Woo! So Brian's like, okay. I didn't come here to cause any beef. Although, to be fair, you won't be wrestling someone that dresses up as a Ghostbuster. I'm coming to kick some ass. You talk about cowboy shit, but that's just you flapping your gums while I'm out here wrestling. So, Oh yeah,
well, I think the line of the night. I think the line of the night. He exclaims to the crowd that he wrestled after he captured the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. He wrestled the very next night.
Yeah, that got the biggest. Yeah, to say WrestleMania on television, that was pretty cool, pretty crazy.
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, big name drop there, and then he just goes full heel and says, "Yeah, of course Virginia boos hard work," and just quickly leaning into heel territory here. And Hangman says, "Yeah, if you want to wrestle for the championship, I see no reason we can't do it right here." Crowd starts chanting yes. Brian says, "Normally I'd be up for it, but look at you. You're out here in your cowboy boots. You're not even ready to compete. I don't want to beat you, and you have excuses." So, they have a little shove, a little pull apart. Dark Order pulls him back. Brian says, "Yeah, have all your little friends stomp us. You don't want to fight right now." But he does have a match booked. Brian fights Evil Uno instead. And Brian immediately just working the different style. He very cocky, very heel-like, not breaking when the ref's counting, things like that. Uno gets a couple licks in, but Brian hits his big Boo Psycho knee, just starts stomping the shit out of Uno's head, and then locks in the triangle sleeper. Immediately, Uno passes out, but Brian doesn't break the hold. He just starts flexing his muscles, his arms, while holding Uno. So the American Dragon is just vicious.
Giving it to him after the match. I think Tony Schiavone runs up there. He tells Schiavone he will not stop kicking Dark Order's members' heads in until he gets his match with Adam Page. I think next week is Colt Cabana. How does he just turn us? How does he make it as easy as just flicking a fucking light switch? Like,
because he's the best.
I don't get it. I flat out don't get it. Like,
yeah.
It's just, okay, I'm a heel now. Wow. That was the biggest fucking takeaway heel Danielson in AEW. You know, something on this grand of a scale. I mean, he was just in a fucking main event program. Now he's in another one. Oh my god.
Yeah,
this
that
guy,
was great. Love that opening
guy,
segment.
right? Fuck.
Yeah. And I think it was right before there was a little backstage thing with Kenny and the Bucks and Cole, and he's like, "All right, boys, I got to go away for a bit, but you can hold the fort down while I'm gone." And Adam Cole's like, "No problem, cleaner." But then Kenny's like, I was talking to the Bucks actually.
Yeah,
So,
because we're gonna
we're
gonna get Kenny Cole in a little while.
Yeah, Kenny's gonna leave. Cole's gonna take over the group. Kenny's gonna come back, and Cole's gonna be like, "Yeah, it's not a place for you." here
Exactly, and then we get can't wait.
Butcher and the Blade take on Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii, giving us a nice visit here.
Fellow member of Chaos, of course. It's only a matter of time. Kazuchika Okada, where are you, bud?
Yeah, we're working our way up to Okada. But Ishii gets a nice big welcome from the crowd here. And match was fine. They go back and forth. The Hardy family offers try to interfere, but Rocky Romero shows up, stops them.
Again, yeah.
Back in the ring, Ishii hits Blade with his sheer drop brainbuster, and that gets him to 3.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, nice move. And that was that. Then we get the TBS title quarterfinal match. Nyla Rose taking on Hikaru Shida. And pretty much most of the audience here rooting for Shida. Nyla sets up a chair on the outside, sits Shida down in it, goes for a big senton, but Shida avoids, and Nyla just crushes her whole body on top of that chair. Just crumples it underneath like a soda can. And then Vicky tries to jump in, tries to hit Shida with a kendo stick, but she gets blocked and hits Vicky with her own stick. Back in the ring, Shida goes for the katana, but Nyla catches her leg and turns it into a big stretch muffler. And then Shida taps out.
Taps out.
Yeah, that was a big upset there.
Wow.
I don't. I wouldn't have done it that way, but that's the way she goes. Nyla Rose is heading to the semifinals.
And sort of, I think sort of the way that the TBS Championship bracket is kind of shaping up, it might make I think it works out right now. Nyla Rose will be taking on either Chris Statlander or Ruby Soho in that kind of babyface heel type thing. I think those two are still super over.
Yeah. Either way, So surprise here, but still got a long way to go in this tournament.
Yeah. Well, only 2 more rounds, but January 5th is when we will have our actual final. So yeah, it still feels like a long time, or it still feels like a little bit away, but we know how these things catch up on us.
Yeah, exactly. MJF comes out next. He's got the Pinnacle with him and starts insulting the crowd, bragging about beating Darby, and says, I think it's about time I go after the AEW World title. Nobody else in that locker room's on my level. And that's when CM Punk interrupts. And he just gets in the ring, stands in front of Maxwell. MJF offers him a handshake, but Punk just laughs, turns, and walks off. So that's
pretty disrespectful, I'll say. You're talking to one of the 4 pillars here.
I mean, MJF's the ultimate heel, but Punk was teasing some heel stuff, so I don't know. This could be an interesting feud, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. But in the meantime, Lio Rush, Dante Martin taking on the Acclaimed in another one of those just fast-paced, high-flying match. Everyone's doing
in
flips.
a high-flying flippy match. That's what the stick should be called.
But it's always fun. Crowd's loving it. Eventually, Dante Martin, he hits his double springboard moonsault. Lio Rush follows up with a frog splash, and that gives the team the win.
So he was supposed to be the White Power Ranger, right? Is that what he was supposed to be?
I mean, I think we said that. The gear definitely looks like that kind of thing.
I think this is his second piece of Power Ranger specific looking gear.
Yeah. And then afterwards, Team Taz come out to continue once again to try and recruit Dante Martin. But don't do it, Dante.
Don't do it, Dante.
It's not going to get you very.
What happened
Unless
to
you
Team?
want your
Yeah,
peak.
what happened to Team Taz? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
they stopped feuding
Exactly.
with
You don't wanna
Darby,
be
and then
part of
all of a
that.
sudden, nobody knows who the fuck they are.
But the main event of the show, Sammy Guevara defending his TNT title against freshly signed Jay Lethal. Getting a huge opportunity here, but that's what the TNT title's all
It
about.
really seems like it.
Anybody.
Bobby Fish got his opportunity. I mean, Miro kind of just took anybody any week. This shit happens.
Yeah. But, Lethal, even though it's his debut, seasoned 19-year veteran in the business. So, puts up a good fight here. Once again, like the last match, lots of high-flying moves here. At one point, Sammy crashes, gets hurt, and they check on him through the whole commercial break. But it seemed to be a work, but they definitely took their time with it.
Oh, okay. See, I had commercials, so I didn't. I flat out didn't.
yeah.
I didn't see it the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, mine he fell down. They had the black shirt doctor come out and check on him.
Yeah, they have a name for that guy.
Like the
They
whole
have a
commercial.
name for that guy too. I don't remember what it is.
Like a title or
Yeah.
an
Oh,
actual
yeah.
name?
Excalibur knows everyone's name, and Excalibur knows
Okay.
everyone's name and everyone's.
It's like that's head medical staff.
Exactly.
Edwin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he would even say they want to transport him to Saint David's Hospital up on 34th Street.
Yeah. So, anyways, Sammy gets up. He fights through the pain. He sets Lethal up on the timekeeper's table. Goes for the Swanton Bomb, but Lethal avoids. So, just another crash to the table for Sammy. But he loves that shit.
Loves it. I mean, I think this is the second table he's crashed through in like 4 days.
Exactly. So Lethal takes advantage. He hits a couple big moves, gets a couple big near falls. The crowd kind of bid on a couple of them, came close. But Sammy takes over, fends him off, hits the GTH, and that gets him the win, retain the title in a hard-fought contest.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a surprise title change yet. Even though that the TNT Championship has definitely gone back and forth the most, I think. Cody's had it a few times, Darby, Miro, Sammy won it. I guess Sammy just won it on I guess Sammy just won it on a Dynamite. But like a surprise. I mean, I'm talking like a fucking surprise.
Yeah. For the first Brody one, I mean, the way he won was kind of a surprise. Where it was like,
it was like 5 minutes or something, and it was like, whoo, okay.
Yeah, he just killed him. But no champion, like shocking champion, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It'll happen.
I mean, it will happen. That's the thing. You're always kind of waiting for the first of any of these things, right? Like the first one's got to happen eventually.
Yeah. And that was Dynamite.
That was Dynamite. That was the whole Professional Wrestling week, except for the weekend, except for Survivor Series. So put on your go to Walmart or Joe Fresh or something. Get a pack of Fruit of the Loom blue T-shirts in that little pack. Get size XL, so or whatever's gonna fit. You might need 2 packs. So usually they might do like 3 in a pack or something. You might want 6, because it's time. You get a blue one. I'll get some red ones, and it's time for some Survivor Series. So let's book the card here. Let's kick off. Let's kick off with the men's side of the action. So Team Raw right now is looking like Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory, taking on Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin. Oh, I refuse to say that. And still one TBA. Well, probably not somebody who's going to move the needle. Or maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. I guess SmackDown. What if
I never
doesn't-
get the point of these matches ever either. Like at least when NXT was there was almost like there was pride on the line.
I mean, they usually still end up being pretty fun.
Yeah, usually.
But,
Well, I think one thing that is going to be fun is the next match on the card. The Damian Priest. He is Raw's United States champion. He's taking on Shinsuke Nakamura over on SmackDown, that IC title. This could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, the match should be good. I mean, both guys kind of underused recently, just like their belts. So let's
Very much so. Very much so. The average, the age of these two men put together is 80. Coming up next, let's get our tag champs getting some action. RK Bro, the team of Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, taking on the Usos. Jimmy J, Paul Heyman, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, should just be another fun match. I mean, there's a lot of tag matches on this show, but you're only 2-on-2, so
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be fine. I don't know, could go either way.
Well, yeah, I remember, and I think in the past, this has actually been like there's been like a multi-man tag from SmackDown and Raw, so just simplify it a bit. Let's get to the drama match. We're talking about that women's Survivor Series elimination match. We're talking Team Raw, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, Queen Zelina taking on Sasha Banks, Baszler, Shotzi, Natalya, and Toni Storm.
Toni Storm, when did she get added? I don't know. Probably on Twitter.
Oh, did she?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Either way, I'm happy that Shotzi's here, getting her pay-per-view debut. Hopefully she'll be one of the top, if not the Survivor. But Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, hopefully they all have good showings as well. And Sasha Banks, of course.
Yeah, I see this as being one of those matches where Bianca Belair is going to get a lot of eliminations. We really got to pump. We really got to beef her up here.
Yeah, see if she can stack all 5 women on her shoulders at once.
Yeah. She might. Let's get to these are gonna be they're gonna feel like co-main events. Might as well just call it a co-main event. We have Becky Lynch taking on Charlotte Flair for the 100th time this month. Who gets the win here?
Yeah, this one's been all about the stuff you haven't seen on the screen. All the dirt sheets have been building this thing up. So I don't know. I mean, it's just pride on the line here, but I think both of the women are very prideful in their work and their roles. So, yeah, I have no idea.
Is this probably most likely to end in a DQ or shenanigans? Out of all the matches on the card, this would be my standout for most likely to be DQ or shenanigans.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
What's the lady equivalent of a low blow? Can they do that? I mean, it would still hurt.
Yeah.
You're hitting the bone, but
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's illegal to do that or not.
It's so hard to say. Which means we're coming up. We're coming up to our main event. It's not a WWE pay-per-view unless Roman Reigns is main eventing his Universal Championship, taking on Big E. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we all know you can't stop this guy.
Roman?
No, he's unstoppable.
No, he's unstoppable. But I mean, if you did want to have him lose without losing that title, this is one of the times you can do it.
This is one of the very, very This is the luxury in which you're afforded. So you're right. Maybe they
wouldn't interrupt his title reign, but who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, he is the one being booked stronger, so I'd give him the edge if I had to bet.
Well, I don't think Edge is anywhere near this particular.
Not that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Roman's probably walking home with the dub like he normally does, and that'll be Survivor Series. Stay tuned. Sunday night. Yes, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday night. It'll be a quick show. Only 6 matches. They'll probably add that random. Didn't Doudrop say
Doudrop. Fucking someone.
I don't
know.
No,
that was
matter.
Doudrop. She came up to talk to Bianca Belair, I think.
Oh yeah, but Belair's already on the team,
so maybe she'll fuck it up. So what? Bianca Belair doing the KOD on Doudrop. That's the big. That's the big fucking spot. That's all the time we have. Let's get to our very, very, very last thing of the week. It's our Wrestler of the Week.
With the Wrestler of the Week. Wrestler of the Week. Of the Week. Of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week. Of the Week. Of the Week. Wrestler of the Week. Of the Week. Of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week.
Coming out of a Full Gear, coming out of a pay-per-view, is always the most difficult time to put out a wrestler of the week, especially these AEW shows. It's like you want to give it to 6 guys for 6 completely different reasons. Whether it be Eddie Kingston's tenacity, whether it be Darby Allin's just like, holy shit, bud, you're good at this, or any of these things in between. But of course, Hangman Adam Page, wrestler of the week. This was it. This was it, man. It was so fun. We got to see it, and not only that, it's great when it pays off in one hell of a match also.
Yeah, it was excellent. Perfect storytelling coming to a close. And, we'll give them all the gold. I'll give it to Hangman Page as well.
Fantastic.
For all those reasons.
Fantastic. It's been a little while since you and I have been in sync, so it's nice to see that we are again. And that was all the time we have for the show. Thanks for listening. Rate, review, like, subscribe. The show is everywhere. And I guess tune in next week because we will have all of this Survivor Series action. Maybe something that'll play out in a grander scheme. Maybe. Hopefully it's not pointless. They didn't cancel TLC for nothing. And we'll be back with all that action. Go Leafs, go. Mike, you take care of yourself.
All right. See you later.